What if the best photo you've ever taken is waiting for you on a day when you felt like staying on the couch? We've all been there, staring at our camera bag like it's a chore instead of a passion. If you're currently stuck in a creative rut waiting for the right mood to strike, stop waiting. You've got the gear, you've got the talent, but today you just don't have the spark, and that's something we can fix. In this video, I'm sharing 5 habits that I use to force myself back into the field, including one thing that improved my photography more than any piece of gear I've ever bought. So let's dive in. All right, number 1, leave your expectations at home. And this is probably the biggest tip to kickstart your motivation. We put way too much pressure on ourselves to come home with a portfolio image every time we go out. And this can be one of the biggest killers of creativity. When you head out with the mindset that you must produce something, you stop looking at what's in front of you and you start looking for what you think you should find. It turns a hobby into a job. Instead, tell yourself today is just about the process, just about the journey. And if you don't take a single photo you like, it's still a huge win because you were out practicing your craft and enjoying the beautiful surroundings. Once you remove the weight of expectations, you kind of give yourself the permission to fail. And ironically, that's when the best shots usually happen. So leave your expectations at home and you'll be amazed at how freeing it can be to just go out and enjoy the shoot. Still a little early, but the color's just starting to crack over. It's beautiful right now, absolutely gorgeous. Well, we're still waiting for that magic moment. Yep, does not get much better than this. Absolutely amazing. I almost didn't come out this morning because it was so cold. But then I saw that there was like 90% high cloud, all high cloud, and I was like, yeah, I gotta go. Oh, this is amazing. Yes. All right, number 2, become a local authority. We all have amazing landscapes somewhat near us that we take for granted. And with repeat visits, you'll catch those landscapes in amazing light, amazing conditions, sunrise, sunset, all the seasons. It's great out here, guys. So nuts. Look at all these rays out here. It's like rainbow colored. We got lightning over here. Craziness. Here's the water, gotta get my shot. And before you know it, you'll have a whole collection of work of this one location. And with regular posts on, say, a blog, on social media, even YouTube, you'll become the local authority of that area. If you've watched my channel for any amount of time, you'll know I shoot in Marineland on the Coquina Rocks. It's where I do all my gear reviews, all my technique videos, and that's where I learned all my landscape photography techniques. And that's one of the biggest motivators because I know that place like the back of my hand and it's close to my home. So become a local expert, local authority on an area near you. And after you start going a few times, you'll be amazed at how little motivation it takes to get you out there. All right, number 3, create a project. This could be a book, a zine, or even a blog article. Anything to push yourself, to have a deadline, and to create something. This also gives your photos purpose, a bit more than just sharing them randomly on social media. And take advantage of your local areas. What may seem boring to you is amazing to someone else. But creating a project gives you a reason to shoot, gives you a reason to get out there, and it can be that push you need to get off the couch. As an example, I'll shamelessly plug my book, 100 Plus Ideas for Landscape Photographers. So be sure to check it out. But in that book, I took a lot of the images that I have taken and I was like, what am I gonna do with these? So I took those and it gave me a reason to get back out there and complete all the ideas I had in my head. And I created that book to give myself motivation just for these times. So anytime I'm bored, I can flip through that book, pick an idea and get out there. And before you know it, you may or may not even be shooting the idea you went out for, but it gets you out there and all of a sudden you're having a blast creating great images. And having a reason to shoot like this really helps push you forward day after day. Okay, number 4, create limits. Limitation breeds creativity. Even something as simple as forcing yourself down to 1 prime lens for the day can get you to stop focusing on camera settings and lens choices and get you start focusing on your art. So I think I'm gonna stick to 50 millimeter, 100 to 200 bucks, can't really beat the price. The sharpness is awesome, it's lightweight, easy to carry. There's a bunch of reasons why it's great. It forces you to move, it forces you to play with compositions, and it's just a great lens to have in your bag. And I don't know about you, but anytime I get a challenge, that ups my motivation a little bit. So when I put restrictions on myself and do things like a 1 lens challenge or shoot a new style of photography, it really helps motivate me. But putting restraints on yourself can really push you beyond the limitations and into the creative zone. Ooh, look at this. It is awesome out here. Some examples of limitations or challenges that you can impose on yourself to boost your creativity and motivation. Try to impose a shot count on yourself, like if you had a roll of film with only 24 or 36 shots. And this can force you to be very deliberate about your scene, very deliberate about your compositions, and waiting for the perfect light. And that can be a great exercise to try on the day out of shooting. Go out with the intention to create a story and take 6 images. Do a pano for the wide scene, take a few of the medium, and then get detail shots. Try going black and white if you don't ever shoot that style. Look at lines, shapes, and contrast over subject. And this can be a great exercise to try when the light is harsh, when other photography styles fall flat. Like we mentioned previously, try the 1 prime lens challenge. Just go out for a day of shooting and just use 1 lens. You forget about all the lens choices and just focus on your scene, focus on your frame. It really forces you to work with what you have, and it'll force you to be creative. And before you know it, you'll be very motivated, making awesome images. Try using a manual vintage lens. You can grab them off eBay, Facebook Marketplace, or even a local thrift shop. And then get an inexpensive adapter for your camera. They're usually very cheap because they're manual only, and they make them for all the old lens systems. There are endless examples of putting limitations on yourself to push your creativity and motivation, and it often results in very creative images. So get out there and try a few. Your best photo could be right around the corner. All right, number 5, and this one improved my photography more than anything else I've ever done. Shoot with the intent to print. The first printer I got was a Canon Selfie, shoot 4x6s. And as soon as you get that, it's the gateway drug. But if there's anything that's improved my photography more, it's printing. You see things totally differently. You stop looking at subjects and you start looking at shapes and lines and colors. You notice things you never see on the backlit screen. You notice things you never see on a phone or a small computer. Being able to print to a decent size is just amazing. But even just sending it off to a lab or printing a 4x6 can be a huge motivator. So I definitely suggest getting your own printer if you can, but even sending it off to a lab or a print shop is a great way to go. And before you know it, you'll be looking at your images in a whole new light, and you'll have tons of motivation to go correct, change, grow, all those things. All right, one last bonus tip, number 6. Always be a student and never stop learning. If there's anything that can motivate you, it's learning a new skill or style of photography. It could be night photography, it could be focus stacking, it could be exposure blending. Pick something you haven't mastered yet or even attempted and go out there and practice it until you can nail it. And it'll be another tool in your bag. At the end of the day, motivation isn't a lightning strike that hits you while you're sitting on the couch. It's something you create by simply showing up. Whether it's the excitement of a new print coming off the selfie, a long-term project, or just the relief of walking out the door with 0 expectations. Action is the only real cure for a rut. If you're feeling stuck right now, don't just wait for the perfect light or the perfect mood. Just pick up your camera. Pick one of these 5 tips and head out. You'll find that the hardest part isn't actually taking the photo. It's just turning the doorknob. Once you're out there, the world has a funny way of showing you something worth capturing. What's one thing that gets you back in the creative groove? I'd love to hear in the comments, and thanks for watching. We'll see you in the next one. Okay. You want to be in the video?
Yeah, everybody likes dogs.